to Memorial Field. Hi, everybody. I'm John Caridio, along with Ray Karowski, for this third game here on Cable 3, the only rematch between any of the schools, any of the 9 games. And in a moment, the folks are going to get an earful from Dick Palladino. He's not happy with this matchup. We'll get to that in a second. But what about the fact that these two teams have played earlier this year and have to do it again under the lights at Memorial Field?
Well, I can understand very clearly why Dick Palladino is not happy, because when they played Roosevelt, they beat them when they had to beat them. Scarsdale, they're league champs. Now, Scarsdale's ranked number 2, Mayapac's ranked number 1. Scarsdale wants a shot to be number 1. If they go into a game against Mayapack and lose, all well and good. But if they win, they're number 1. Going against Roosevelt again means that it was a great win for Scarsdale, no doubt about it. He's going to have to do it again. But where can he go? I mean, he's ranked 2nd, and there's no place. Now, for Roosevelt, if they beat Scarsdale, I mean, they're going to move up in a ranking. This is like a must game for Roosevelt. I think they're going to be up for the game much more than Scarsdale, even though both teams will be up because it's a bowl game. But I can understand why they're matched, because 3 teams in the same league are in a bowl game.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's show you the league standings at the end of the regular season. They all played in 1A, and there you see the top 3 teams, all of them involved in a bowl game. New Rochelle played here last night. The Raiders defeated New Rochelle on the final week of the season to wrap up a 6-0 mark in the conference and an 8-1 mark overall. Then the Huguenots, followed by the Indians, who lost to both New Rochelle and Scarsdale during the regular season. White Plains, Mamaroneck, Mount Vernon, and Lincoln also rounding out the league's 1A standings after 9 regular season games. Now, we did have a chance to watch both of these teams during the season as our Porter Pack headed out around Section 1. And we'll take a look at some of the players that you'll be seeing tonight here at Memorial Field. And we'll begin, first of all, there's Dick Palladino, the head football coach for the Scarsdale Raiders, who once again is in a bowl game, his 4th straight trip. And one of his big guns, a real surprise for the Raiders, number 32, Andrew Brennan, here in a touchdown against New Rochelle. There's Tony DiMatteo, the dean of Section 1 football coaches, over 110 wins during his tenure. And along with the offense, this team can play defense, and you're going to see a lot of that coming out here tonight under the lights at Memorial Field in this Conference 1 Bowl championship. As I mentioned a few moments ago, we had both head coaches over here to chat a little bit about tonight's game, and we're going to hear from Dick Palladino first, and he's going to tell you why he doesn't like this match. Coach Palladino, it doesn't happen often when a rematch occurs in the bowl championships. If you would, please, your feelings on having to play Roosevelt again in the bowls.
Well, I have to remember that I'm on television here, and what I tell you, not real happy about it, and not so sure that the Section 1 committee took into account the kids in Scarsdale when they came up with this matchup. I felt we deserved a little bit better treatment, in that we are the number 1 team in what many people consider the number 1 league in Section 1, and to have to play the 3rd place team again, I'm not so sure that that's a great idea. You know, they certainly have everything to gain in playing a game like this, and we did it when we had to win a league championship back on October 29th. So I'm not real happy with the selection process.
Do you feel that you should have had a shot at Mayapack?
Well, I'm not. I can understand that maybe a rematch with Mayapack wouldn't have been any better than this rematch. I understand that. You know, I would have liked that shot because it happened so long ago that we played them. But I can understand that, and I wouldn't have been upset had they given us somebody else if they had made things equal for everybody. You know, now they're talking about that Mayapack and North Rockland are going to play for the number 1 spot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what are we? We're number 2, and we're ahead of North Rockland. Nobody remember. You know, they say that because they're going to play Mayapack, who but we already beat a team who beat North Rockland. Everybody forgets that, you know. So, I mean, I think we've done all that we can do, and we're just going to try and play our hearts out here tonight like we always do.
About the kids' attitude going into the game, you feel that they're mentally and physically ready to play?
I think so. The kids, our kids, are happy to be in a bowl game. They're excited about winning a league championship again, and they, you know, they're an emotional bunch of kids who play real hard all the time, and they don't care who the opponent is. They had said a week ago they want to win this one for Coach Powell and be the first team of mine to win a bowl game. We've been here 3 times in a row and come up short, and so they have a lot to play for, and I just hope it's going to work out for them.
Coach DiMatteo, first a two-parter, if you would. Number one, your feelings on the rematch against Scarsdale, and number two, because you've been here so often, does it make it any easier no matter who you're playing?
No, it's just a thrill for my kids to be here. That was the goal of our season, is to get back in the bowl. As far as Scarsdale is concerned, you know, the revenge factor is not as important as that they are the league champs and ranked number 2, and we wanted to try and get the highest ranking. So we're happy we're playing them, because if we beat them, we can get higher than we are. If we played New Rochelle or Carmel, that wouldn't have happened. So that's the only reason that we're happy to be playing Scarsdale, basically.
Are kids willing to go full tilt for this one tonight?
Oh, yes, it's a bowl. Everybody's excited. I mean, I don't think I had to motivate my kids, and I don't think Dick Palladino had to motivate his kids. It's bowl time, and I think you're going to see a great game today.
Okay, when you remember back to preseason, was this team going to be as good then as it turned out to be?
Well, we always lose a lot of kids every year. I didn't have very many back. Thank God my son decided to live with me, and he's down with me. He's kind of been carrying me. But I try to believe in the philosophy of Roosevelt, is that we don't rebuild, we reload. And we've reloaded.
Good. Thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it. All right, well, there you have a look at both of the head coaches as they get ready for this ball game here this evening. And as Ray already mentioned, and you heard echoed, 2 different philosophies in this game as the head coaches are looking at it. For Dick Palladino, it's a game he has to play. For Tony DiMatteo, it's a game he can move up into the rankings with a win here tonight. Now, they are going to go out and play 48 minutes of football, and we've got Karowski's keys to give us a little hint on what each team has to do to come up a winner today.
There aren't many keys, John, but they are imperative. For Roosevelt, the fullback Turner, quarterback DiMatteo, 2 ball players that have to have a great game. If Turner can pick up yardage, this will open up the passing attack and help Roosevelt to control the ball. They must control Scarsdale's tandem. That's Lou Henry at fullback and Andrew Brennan. Both backs combined rushed for close to 1,500 yards in the toughest Section 1 football league. The main keys for Scarsdale, they have to play their game. Don't do anything fancy or different. Stay with the solid offense and defense. If Roosevelt is to beat Scarsdale, they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, earn it. They must pressure Dom DiMatteo. They have to get the pressure going from the middle and the outside. Contain him. Don't allow Dom to run or pass. They have to pressure him to death.
All right, there's one point that we should bring to your attention. Whether it has a factor in the game or not remains to be seen, but quarterback Don DiMatteo is hurting tonight. He's got a sore neck. We'll have to see how much that'll affect his play here tonight as they take on the Scarsdale Raiders. Both teams have been here a lot at Memorial Field at the end of the season. It's the 4th straight appearance for the Raiders. They're looking for their first win under Dick Palladino. For the dean of the coaches, Tony DiMatteo, it is their 8th straight trip to a Section 1 championship. Stay right where you are as we continue here on Cable 3. Straight ahead, it's the second time around for New Rochelle and Scarsdale, and or Roosevelt and Scarsdale, and we'll have the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Step right up, test your strength. Now, from the director of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
You want a cigarette?
Comes the craziest, most magical. Don't you hate it when that happens? Comedy of the year.
Not bad.
Michael Keaton
It's showtime.
is a ghost called Beetlejuice.
I'm the ghost with the most bed.
Rated PG.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Mount Vernon as we're set now for this Conference 1 championship. The Roosevelt Indians at 6-2 on the season, taking on the Scarsdale Raiders, 8-1 on the year, and owners of an 8-game winning streak. Lost the season opener to Mayapack, the undefeated team in Class A, and then have ripped off 8 in a row. Opening coin toss is completed. Let's take a look at the officials who will be working tonight's ball game. Here at Memorial Stadium, same crew we had 1 week ago. Joe Salamini is our referee. Doug Scott will be the head linesman. The umpire is Rich Doyle, and the field judge, Mr. Bowling, Tom Salamini. So there's your crew. Tony DiMatteo, Dean of Westchester Coaches, and a guy that you, Ray, are most familiar with. I'm sure you've been to a couple of clinics that he's been at.
Tony DiMatteo's coaching his 20th year. He has an overall record of 131 wins, 36 losses, and 2 ties. And they call him the Dean of Westchester County Football Coaches, and there are many other deans behind him.
You know, I've asked him about that. He doesn't like that term. He says it makes him sound old.
Well, he is old. Anyone that's a year older than me is old.
Very good. All right, there will be the Raiders to receive the opening kickoff in tonight's ball game. Scarsdale this year, some real squeakers on their way to the 8-1 season. Last week beat New Rochelle 20-6. Then before that beat White Plains 6-0. Beat these same Indians 7-0, and then beat Mamaroneck 7-0. So the Cardiac Kids can sure be applied in tonight's game. Andrew Brennan is the D-back for the Raiders. And this championship just about set to begin. High but short kick. It'll hit the turf. Big hit right off the bat. Roy Diaz really pelted Andy Curry, and the Raiders will go on offense 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. For the Raiders, Kevin Walsh is their quarterback. He is a senior. Also in the backfield, Andrew Brennan, a junior, Lou Henry, a senior, and Eric Blomquist, a junior. The split end, Pete Bogarty, a senior, and the tight end number 45, Mike Girardi, he is also a senior. Walsh, a junior, I should say, 6'1", 156 pounds, and has done a very nice job running this Raiders ball club this year. It'll be Lou Henry, the fullback, who breaks away from a tackle and will get the football to the 38-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 8 for Lou Henry, 6-foot senior, 186 pounds. Offensive line for the Raiders, done a nice job opening holes all year long. We've got Brad Sussman, Larry Sarvesi, Pete Goldshaw anchors it at the center spot. Tim Ward is the senior at guard, and Mike Fee, 5'11", 193-pound senior at the other tackle spot. And it's an average line, an average 5'11", 177 pounds. Maybe a free down here for Palladino. Play action by Walsh on a 2nd and 2, looking for Pete Bogarty on the outside route, and throws it incomplete. And will bring up a 3rd down and 2. Defensively for the Roosevelt Indians, as always, they'll work with that 5-man front. Tom Conroy anchors it at the nose guard spot. Your 2 tackles, Mike Perrone and Dan Churowitz. And on the 2 ends, Paul Faulkner and Dave McDonald. On the 2nd defensive page, the 2 linebackers that Tony DiMatteo uses, Joe Bellino, Glenn Brislon. The cornerbacks, Roy Diaz and Ray Soares. The free safety, Dom DiMatteo and Jack Urizo at strong safety. And we'll have to check on DiMatteo. We understand that he will not be playing defense tonight. Just will go as the starting quarterback for the Indians. 2nd and 2, and it is Henry again, the fullback, and he gets it across the 40 to the 43, a gain of 4 yards, and it is also 1st down number 1 for the Scarsdale Raiders.
Okay, Lou Henry, he's a senior. Coming into this game for the season, he has 121 rushes for a total of 637 yards. He's averaging 5.26 yards a carry.
It's really been quite a tandem back there between Henry and Brennan. They have really been a pleasant surprise. and have gone a long way, along with Kevin Walsh's arm, to leading this club to the 8-1 mark. And this time the Indians ready for that on the option. Kevin Walsh decided to give it away to the first back through Henry, and he was stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, leading the charge. Tom Conroy, the nose guard, number 72.
Roosevelt is using a 5-monster defense. That means they're reading. At the snap of the ball, they're picking up the man that they have to read, and then they react to the ball. That's pursuing, get to the ball carrier, make the tackle. Now the monster can either go to the strong side or the slot side or the wide side of the field.
Loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. And again it is Henry. And Conroy again in on the tackle. And Henry gets the 1-yard back they lost. But it'll be a passing situation for the Raiders, a 3rd down and 10. And as is the case with any Dick Palladino coach ball club, they'll mix it up on offense.
They certainly will, and we just saw before on 2nd and short, everyone would expect that they would run, and then he passes. Do the unexpected.
Well, we'll see what he calls here on a 3rd and 10. Bloomquist in motion to the near side. It's a delayed draw. Andy Brennan. And Brennan has the first down and brings it to the 45-yard line. And as we said, on an obvious passing situation, instead, the Raiders go to the ground game and pick up 12.
This is a sprint draw. This play right here, it's like he's going to go out with pass. He just hands it to Brennan, playing tailback, and he has deceiving speed. You see the moves, he's going right, left, the hips are moving, he's taking small steps. He's trying to find that opening and pick up more and more yardage all the time. Very deceiving as a runner.
Clock continues to roll, 8:44 to go. First quarter, no score. Opening drive of the ball game. And the Raiders, starting this at their own 30, they're now in Roosevelt territory. At the 45. Bloomquist in motion. Option by Walsh. Takes it himself. Gets another first down. To the 34. An 11-yard gain by the quarterback. And after giving it to the middle of the line a couple of plays, they start to run it outside.
He does the reverse pivot now. If he sees the opening, he's going to take it, which he does. He picks up good yardage right here, and for the season, Kevin Walsh has 35 rushes for 103 yards. And against Roosevelt, when they beat him earlier later in the season, a few weeks ago, he was 2 for 5 in passing for 23 yards and had the 1 touchdown pass.
1st and 10, it is Lou Henry again. And he gets 2 very tough yards, actually just about 1, as he's buried by the interior lineman of the Roosevelt defense. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Raiders. The 4th straight appearance for Scarsdale in this bowl championship. They lost to Arlington a year ago, 12-0. Then lost to North Rockland in a game that will always be remembered, 30-27 in overtime. And the year before that, lost to North Rockland again, 70-6. So Dick Palladino, those 3 games, plus 1 when he was at Ryan-Eck, he's still looking for his first bowl championship. Henry comes in motion. Walsh, inside counter, Jason Kessler. And Kessler down to the 31. Give him 3 yards on the carry, and that will bring up a 3rd down and 7. That was a touchdown call against White Plains that same
Well, you
play.
can see that Dick Palladino of Scarsdale is really mixing his plays up. He's going with the option, the counters, the dive, and an isolation play, and the sprint draw. And they're doing a great job. They're picking up the yardage. But on the other hand, Roosevelt's defense, it's okay for them to bend, but they cannot break.
Let's go!
3rd down and 7. We'll see as the Raiders come out in the eye. And now, Henry in motion. It's an option. And, well, the ball batted up and caught by Kevin Walsh. And tries to go ahead, actually gets a yard. So you don't see that often. The pass Walsh, completion Walsh for 1 yard.
Yeah, but this is quick reaction. That's quick reaction by Walsh because he throws it, boom, it's blocked, and his eyes are constantly looking to see what's going to happen. Boom, the ball comes right in and catches. Good hands.
Well, from the 34-yard line, the Raiders setting back to punt it away Joff Cochran, and he will kick, angling it for the sidelines, and it will go into the end zone. Nice try by Vinnie Lambert, hustling down to try to knock it back into the field of play, but the punt does go into the end zone. It's an automatic touchback, and Roosevelt will get the ball on offense for the first time in this ball game from their own 20-yard line with 5:51 left to go in the first quarter. Offensively for the Roosevelt Indians, the coach's son is their quarterback, Dom DiMatteo. He is the junior. Anthony Turner's the senior fullback. Lou Gaspar is the senior tailback. And Jack DeRizo, the senior flanker. The split end, Roy Diaz, he is the senior. And also on the other end, the tight end, Anthony Frascone, he is also a senior. DiMatteo puts a man in motion, and it will be Lou Gaspar. Slides away from one tackle. Chris Chulo right in there on the play as well. And a lot of running, and a gain of just 2 yards.
Now, wingback number 7, Lou Gaspari's a senior, 5'6", 140 pounds. And what they want to do, Roosevelt wants to get him to the outside, which they're trying right here, because he can do a 40-yard dash in 4.6. That's good speed. Once he gets to that outside and squares his shoulders, he could be gone.
Frank Cruciano is number 10, the man who made the initial contact on Gaspar. 2nd down and 7 now. Gaspar again in motion, penalty marker on the play. He gets the call, and Vinnie Lambert holds him up. And I believe that's Andrew Brennan who finished it off. It was number 32. But we have a penalty marker, and this one's going to be motion against the offense. Let's take a look at the offensive line for Tony DiMatteo's Indians. The 2 tackles, Tom Conroy and Dan Cherowitz. The guards, Dave McDonald, the only underclassman on the starting lineup for the Indians. He is a junior. Aaron Frenchman's on the other side, and Glenn Bristline, he is the senior center, number 63. As they continue to chat now with Jason Kessler, the defensive captain, Raiders will accept the penalty, and it will be a 5-yard motion call against the Roosevelt Indians. Defensive line for the Raiders, they also work with a 5-man front. Matt Deschamps, Greg Callahay, Alexei Mercentes, Roy Scruggs, and Mike Girardi. And they average 6 feet, 200 pounds. They can be a tough, formidable line to get through. So after the 5-yard penalty assessed, it is now 2nd down and 12. Gaspar again in motion, this time an inside counter. And making a nice little gain, Jack DeRizo, the senior flanker. And he is up to the 25-yard line. They'll mark it a little past that at the 27. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 3. 9-yard gain for Uriza. Linebackers for the Raiders, Matt Schitzler, Jason Kessler, number 40. The cornerbacks, Jim Kelly and Vinnie Lambert. Free safety, Frank Ruciano. And the strong safety is Andrew Brennan. And when we watch Scarsdale play White Plains, Brennan, we've talked about him on offense. He had a pretty good defensive game that day as well. He put a stick on Mike Hodges that I think Hodges will still remember.
He's a great athlete, Brennan.
Again, another whistle, this time before the snap of the football. And the preliminary signal, illegal procedure against the Roosevelt Indians. So they're heading backwards. False start.
No, it's interesting to note that when Roosevelt's on defense, they have a 5 front. When Scarsdale's on defense, they have a 5 front. They're both reading defenses, and if a guard's going to pull, the linebacker will either go with him or fill the hole. It's all reading quickness. And the thing is, if you're coached well and you tell the guys to key the men that you want to be keyed, then they react quickly with intelligence. It's like you're playing defense, and as soon as the ball is snapped, you know where the ball's going to be before it's actually there.
DiMatteo wants to take it himself, and is able to turn the corner. He gets the 1st down. Boy, the quarterback shows a little speed. He was motoring around that end.
Yeah, well, what he has this like he's sneaky fast. In other words, he's sprinting out. He's looking for a receiver. Now, if he sees the opening and he can pick up those 12 yards, he's going to take it. He's sneaky quick. He has a good release when he's throwing the ball. He's a 2-year varsity starter. His junior year, he started on defense. Against White Plains, he completed 7 for 14 passes for 152 yards. For the season, He has 6 touchdown passes, and he ran for 2.
This is Anthony Turner on his first carry, and Turner close to the 40-yard line. The big fullback having an excellent campaign for the Indians this year, and he will get credit for 7 yards on his initial carry, bringing up 2nd down and 3.
Anthony Turner is a great back. The only thing right now, he's not playing at 100%. He's playing at about 80, 85%. During the year, he was hurt. He had an ankle injury, then he had a shin bruise, and then his shoulder was injured. And with him healthy at 100%, he's a great back.
Well, both teams really holding on to the football on their drives. Urizo sweeps around the end, and he is really blasted out of bounds. Looks like he will have enough yardage, however, for another Roosevelt first down.
And Jack Urizo's a senior. He's the captain of the team.
5-yard gain.
And again, Scarsdale on defense. You know, they're giving up a little ground, but that's all right. The main thing is you can bend, but don't break. Don't give up a big play. A touchdown run, a touchdown pass. You really have to be careful and watch that. Great defenses will bend a lot during great games, but they don't break.
Well, Scarsdale had the ball for a little over 6 minutes. Roosevelt still holding it on now for 3 minutes. This time it is Lou DeLango. And DeLango fights his way forward close as the ball comes out. And the Raiders have recovered. DeLango coughed it up after he went around the end. And Matt Deschamps falls on the football. The first break belongs to the Raiders.
Okay, this is a good play right here. He's getting to the outside. But now you're in a tough ball game, and they are really popping out there. It's not that they're going to make a tackle. They're just going, the defensive people are going through the offensive runner.
So Scarsdale gets it at their own 45. First down and 10. Kevin Walsh kept the ball mainly on the ground in Scarsdale's opening drive. Play action by Walsh. Down the sidelines, Girardi can't come up with it. Came awfully close to hauling that one in along the sidelines. May have taken a quick peek to see where he was, but the ball slides out of bounds and goes incomplete.
Now this is on first down. You can see that Coach Palladino is really mixing the plays up. You know, you think you would run on first down, but he's passing. Look, right off the fingertips.
Looks like he stumbled right at the end. He might have hauled that one in. Maybe we can take another look at the end of the run and just see exactly. You'll see right just before the ball gets there, he seems to stumble there and still got his hands on it.
Yep, just
nice effort by Girardi. Came close to bringing that one home. They put Henry in motion. It's the option by Walsh. He's in trouble. Boy, Roosevelt did an excellent job defensing that one. And Walsh had nowhere to go except into the arms of Dan Cherowitz. No gain.
This is the option play right here. You have to have one defender on the pitch man, another man on a dive man, and a man on the quarterback. Now, if all 3 defensive men follow through with their assignments, boom, they stop that option.
This is a common practice with the Raiders. Kevin Walsh will meander close to the sidelines, and Coach Palladino will holler the play out to him rather than use the shuttle system. Kind of cut out that middleman. Bloomquist in motion, top of the field. Delayed draw. Brennan tried to slide away, got a couple. But right in on the stop, Mike Perrone, the defensive tackle. And Coach, I'm noticing that we're calling a lot of the interior linemen on the tackle. The Raiders are having trouble getting past that line of scrimmage.
Well, what it is that the offensive line has to get off the ball a little bit quicker and sooner than the defensive line of Roosevelt. That's what, you know, you're in the trenches right here. This is where you really want to fire out. Beat your opponent off the ball.
Cochran to punt. Nice high spiral, beautiful kick. And we'll take a Scarsdale roll. Goes inside the 10 and will be down at the 9-yard line. Well, the Indians made the decision not to field the punt, and it took a good hop for Scarsdale. And it'll be 1st and 10 Roosevelt from their own 9-yard line with 36 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Now, the Roosevelt offense and defensive line is coached by